Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Tonight, Governor Andrew Cuomo is facing pressure to resign from all sides of the political spectrum. This comes after New York Attorney General Letitia James released a report saying the governor sexually harassed current and former state employees. The report also described a toxic work environment that encouraged Cuomo's behavior. Despite the evidence in the report, Governor Cuomo maintains that he did nothing inappropriate.
I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances. I am 63 years old. I've lived my entire adult life in public view. That is just not who I am. They read into comments that I made and draw inferences that I never meant. They ascribe motives I never had. And simply put, they heard things that I just didn't say.
We turn now to Big Fox's Matt Kleindens, who got local reaction from residents and politicians about what they think the next steps should be for the embattled governor.
Good evening, and reaction to the Attorney General's report has been swift, and everybody from federal representatives, local politicians, residents, and even the president have called for Cuomo to resign. The results of Letitia James' probe into Governor Cuomo were read Tuesday morning, and the findings were disturbing.
Governor Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, many of whom were young women.
The independent investigation found that Governor Cuomo fostered a toxic work environment and that 11 women were subjected to unwanted advances and touching by the governor.
And it's saddening to hear the type of workplace environment that Andrew Cuomo subjected people who just wanted to serve the state of New York.
Local Republican congressional candidate Joe Sempolenski says the findings show that Cuomo needs to resign immediately.
He needs to go. He needs to go now. And if he is not willing to do it voluntarily, then the state assembly needs to begin the process to show him the door.
Residents I spoke with off camera share much of the same sentiment as Sempolenski, arguing that Cuomo needs to be held accountable. The ripple effects from the report could be felt in Washington, and New York Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand called for Governor Cuomo's removal.
These actions are inappropriate for the governor of New York State, and I do believe he should resign.
Even President Biden chimed in late this afternoon, asking Cuomo to step down. As of this evening, Cuomo has not indicated plans to resign and vowed to continue working for all New Yorkers.
And I will not be distracted from that job.
Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Cities and states update and change their mask and vaccine mandates as COVID-19 cases fueled by the Delta variant continue to rise. Griff Jenkins has more from the White House.
The White House is pulling out all the stops to get Americans to roll up their sleeves for the COVID vaccine. President Biden planning a nationwide address on Tuesday, hoping to clear up some of the confusion amid changing CDC guidance on masks and vaccines, with fears of more restrictions coming, which he said we can expect, quote, in all probability. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing Tuesday proof of vaccination will now be required for most indoor businesses, including restaurants.
The key to NYC Pass will be a first-in-the-nation approach. It will require vaccination in indoor dining, in indoor fitness facilities, indoor entertainment facilities.
This comes as we're averaging more than 63,000 new cases every day, up from 11,000 in June, with the Delta variant surging across the country.
If you get sick with the Delta variant, we estimate that you could infect about 5 other unvaccinated people. More than twice as many as the original strain.
Meanwhile, on the state level, Florida is quickly becoming ground zero in a mask mandate battle as schools get ready to reopen in the fall. Governor Ron DeSantis joining at least 8 other states in prohibiting schools from requiring masks in classrooms, despite CDC guidelines recommending masks and at least 3 feet of social distancing.
The CDC comes in and says every single person in a school have to be masked at all times. That is not consistent with the evidence.
The president says the country hit a vaccination milestone Monday. 70% of adults have now received at least 1 shot. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
The Tompkins County Health Department issued a new COVID health advisory over the weekend and are now encouraging indoor mask wearing regardless of vaccination status. The announcement comes as the number of active COVID cases in the county reached its highest point in months. The guidelines from the health department match new CDC guidelines. The increase in COVID cases is blamed on clusters related to large indoor gatherings and travel. The Elmira enforcers will not be playing the upcoming hockey season and will be dispersed. The announcement comes as Chemung County weighs the future of downtown First Arena. All season ticket holders for enforcer hockey games will have their money fully reimbursed. Members of the roster will now be placed in a special draft by the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Gunshots fired this morning in Arlington, Virginia, near the entrance of the Pentagon, resulting in multiple injuries. The facility, the headquarters of the U.S. military, was temporarily placed on lockdown. The Arlington County Fire Department reported multiple patients, but it wasn't immediately clear if they'd been shot or the extent of their injuries. The incident occurred on a Metro bus platform that's part of the Pentagon Transit Center, just steps from the Pentagon building. Senators are inching closer to a vote on a bipartisan infrastructure package following months of negotiations. But another battle lies ahead, with a budget reconciliation bill being a top priority for progressives. Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
Democrats are pushing for speed, and Republicans are pumping the brakes on a $1 trillion infrastructure vote this week. The bill has $550 billion in new spending over 5 years for the country's roads, bridges, pipes, electric grid, and broadband. And unlike so much in Washington, it has bipartisan support.
I'm very bullish that this bill will make it across the finish line.
The measure has GOP backing, but the text of the 2,700-page bill wasn't finalized until late Sunday. Republicans say they need time to read it and change the parts they don't like.
Just as infrastructure itself is not a luxury, but a necessity, the same goes for the Senate having a robust and bipartisan amendment process on legislation of this magnitude.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he won't let senators go on August recess until there's a vote on this bill and a massive $3.5 trillion human infrastructure budget package that tackles Democratic priorities.
If you need money for housing, for child care, for health care, my God, and so much more, we will follow it up with a reconciliation package, even if it has to be on a partisan basis.
I do not support the $3.5 trillion reconciliation package, and I don't support it because it's terrible for the country. It'll raise taxes at a time when our economy is getting on its feet. It'll add more to inflation.
Anything the Senate passes will have to go to the House for a vote. They're not scheduled to return to D.C. until the end of August. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Millions of wells once drilled deep into the earth are now taking a devastating toll on the environment. Jackie Ibanez has more on the chemicals leaking from these rusted pipes and why there may not be an easy fix.
Oil and gas help power the country, but they're also helping to destroy it. The Environmental Protection Agency says millions of forgotten oil and gas wells are currently leaking toxins into the land, drinking water, and air, causing problems for wildlife, landowners, and more.
It's like, oh my God, like this whole place is just, Swiss cheese of old oil wells that are falling apart.
The issue is especially real for rancher Ashley Williams Watt, whose land is littered with dozens of old pipes starting to burst, releasing chemicals like methane gas, which dramatically contributes to global warming, and benzene, which can cause cancer.
We suspect 20 more, 40 more, 50 more. Like the unknowns out here, that's the terrifying part.
For years, experts have used cement to seal off pipes once most of the oil and gas is extracted, but they can come undone over time. The EPA estimates there are at least 3.2 million abandoned wells in the U.S., with 2.1 million that were never sealed off. But the crisis goes beyond Watt's property. Leaking abandoned wells exist all around the world.
This isn't a problem isolated to the Permian. This is East Texas, this is Pennsylvania, this is Ohio, this is West Virginia, this is California, this is Gulf of Mexico, this is Aberdeen, Scotland, this is Middle East.
And experts say hundreds of thousands of pipes were drilled before officials started keeping proper records of their locations, making them hard to find and even harder to fix. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Simone Biles returns to competition, winning her second medal at the Tokyo Games. Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee is now investigating the case of a Belarusian sprinter seeking asylum in Poland. Greg Pelcott has more.
Simone Biles making a major comeback at the Olympics. The gymnast taking home the bronze medal on the balance beam today, 1 week after withdrawing from team competition due to mental health concerns. Biles later addressed the importance of athletes taking a mental break.
At the end of the day, we're not just entertainment, we're humans, and there are things going on behind the scenes that we're also trying to juggle with as well, on top of sports.
Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee has launched a formal investigation into the case of a Belarus sprinter who accused team officials of forcing her to return home due to complaints she made about team management. 24-year-old Kristina Timanskaya sought protection from Japanese police at the airport and has received a humanitarian visa from Poland. The sprinter speaking out for the first time since defecting, saying she feared for her life if she returned to Belarus.
The key phrase was when they said that the decision that you must return home was not taken by us, it was taken by other people, and we were just ordered to follow through.
And COVID continues to be the focus of this summer's games. Tokyo reporting another 3,700 new cases on Tuesday. As medical staff warn, the city is quickly running out of hospital beds.
We will have to impose restrictions on surgery or stop treatment for heart attacks and strokes in order to secure more beds. That is the stage we're in.
On Tuesday, the head of Japan's medical association called for a nationwide state of emergency to control the surge. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, Spirit Airlines facing significant disruptions. More than 300 flights canceled or delayed as of today.
It's my third day here. I was on Spirit. We got canceled Saturday. We got canceled Sunday. It's our vacation. So we're on it, trying to get on again.
What the low-cost carrier says has caused these recent issues.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. It's been a very beautiful day, plenty of sunshine today, and we didn't have to deal with humidity, but it was a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. In Elmira, reporting about 3 degrees warmer this afternoon, 2 in Corning, about 3 in Watkins Glen, and also in Bath. And we're going to continue this trend, this warming trend, through the end of the week. Not only that, the moisture content will also increase as well, so it is going to get a little bit muggy by the end of the week out ahead of another storm system. For tonight, temperatures will continue to drop down to around 52 degrees at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll continue to climb up as the sun rises and warm up, but it's not going to be all that bad during the day. For your Wednesday, there will be another disturbance that will come through that will bring the possibility into the southwestern corner of the state. For our area, we're going to stay with pleasant conditions. However, for Thursday night into Friday, this moisture will start to ride to the north, and so it will make it feel a little bit muggy by the end of the week and into the weekend. In addition to that, we do have rain chances returning as well, just light rain chances, especially for your Thursday. But if you're doing any yard work tomorrow, it's going to be a perfect day for that. Temperatures around 57 degrees at 7 o'clock. There may be a little bit of dew and a little bit of fog and mist in the early morning hours. By 10 o'clock, we should see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures around 73 degrees, 79 by 3 o'clock. I think our highs will be in the 80s, and then we drop back down to around 75 degrees with a mostly sunny sky at 6 o'clock in the evening. So as far as those dew points, it looks like we'll stay in the 50s through about Thursday, but then by the end of Thursday, it starts to inch up a little bit into the 60s. That's an indication that moisture will be coming northward into our area. And so the higher the dew point, the higher the humidity level. And so by the end of the week, it will get a little bit muggy. It's not going to be oppressive, but it is going to be a little bit more humid. Temperatures tonight, though, dropping down to around 52 degrees in Elmira, 52 in Corning, 53 degrees in Perkinsville. Expect mainly clear conditions, but there will be some fog developing right before sunrise. And then during the day, we are going to see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures around 81 degrees in Corning. Highs will be around 80 degrees in Elmira. A little bit cooler in Perkinsville at 78 degrees. Your extended forecast calls for temperatures that will continue to warm up. 86 degrees on Friday, and it will get a little bit muggy. Then that next storm system comes in. There will be a few thunderstorms in the afternoon on Saturday as well as on Sunday, and we have chances of rain in the afternoons by early next week. And it will be a little bit warmer with highs around 87 on Monday and Tuesday.
Anxiety, depression, and a feeling of being burned out. One well-known university said it found all of these mental health issues rising amongst the students it surveyed. Mandy Gaither has more on how struggling students can better cope in today's Health Minute.
Another school year in the age of COVID-19, but as college students prepare to head back to campus, there's a concern continuing to climb.
Students who are mentally, physically well perform better academically.
Bernadette Melnick, the chief wellness officer at The Ohio State University, says a survey of her students in April revealed 28% of those polled were suffering from the symptoms of depression. Another 42% hit the cutoff for clinical anxiety. 71% said they felt burned out. The results also show students struggling with these mental health issues drank more alcohol, used more tobacco or vaped more often, ate more unhealthy foods, and had less physical activity. That's why Melnick says establishing healthy habits is crucial.
They need to schedule physical activity, stress reduction, healthy eating in, just like they schedule courses.
Melnick says any student struggling with mental health should build coping and resiliency skills, get connected, find someone to help support their mental health, get involved to lessen isolation, and if anxiety or depression interfere with focus or concentration,
they cannot wait to get help.
Melnick says it's also critical for colleges and universities to invest in the mental health and well-being of their students. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
We've been following developing news affecting Spirit Airlines passengers around the country. Significant delays and cancellations have resulted in long lines and big headaches for many travelers. Leon Purvis reports from Connecticut's Bradley Airport, where one passenger has been trying to begin her vacation for 3 days.
It's my third day here. Well, I was on Spirit. We got canceled Saturday. We got canceled Sunday. It's our vacation. So we're on it, trying to get on again.
This is the third day Southwick resident Joan Krasinski has attempted to start her vacation in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But she is among many others across the country who have been experiencing flight cancellations by Spirit Airlines. Western Mass News getting answers for you. We reached out to Spirit and asked them why this was happening. They tell Western Mass News in a statement, "We're working around the clock to get back on track in the wake of some travel disruptions over the weekend due to a series of weather and operational challenges. We needed to make proactive cancellations to some flights across the network, but the majority of flights are still scheduled as planned." But Joan has experienced frustration on getting her money back.
We were on the phone 4 hours with Spirit because everything's automated, so you have to wait for people to pick up the phone to even say, what do we do? Do we get a refund? Can we rebook?
She tells us her vacation is turning more into a staycation. She had planned to be in Myrtle Beach for a week, but others traveling to Orlando could be on vacation a little longer.
All the Spirit planes going to Florida today were canceled, and they told me I could not get on a flight until Thursday morning. I'm going to try for the flight on Thursday, hoping it's not canceled.
And if it is?
I'm going to have to go to another airline and pay a lot more money.
The CDC's new mask guidance is creating a dilemma for corporate America and small businesses, with many companies requiring their workplace to get COVID-19 vaccines and small businesses shifting their mask mandate. Mandy Gaither has a closer look at what this means for employees and shoppers.
Walmart and Disney now joining a growing list of companies telling employees to get the COVID-19 shot.
I think now employers need to focus on making it difficult not to be vaccinated. We're facing a strain that is far more contagious and where even vaccinated people might actually pass it on.
In May, Walmart was among the list of large retailers that removed face covering requirements for vaccinated shoppers in their stores. That move followed CDC guidance at the time easing mask wearing for people vaccinated against COVID-19.
All of these conflicting messages that are reaching both the consumer as well as these business owners really muddles the waters.
The National Retail Federation says major corporations and small businesses all want the same thing: to protect their staff, customers, and the community they serve.
So if that means requiring masks, they will require masks. If that means that the recommendation would be to have everyone vaccinated that is coming in contact with the customers, then they're going to look very closely at that.
And while major retailers reevaluate their mask policies, small businesses are taking action.
Grab your temperature real quick.
Many mom and pop stores are bringing back strict mask wearing requirements for both employees and customers, hoping consumers reward them for prioritizing safety.
It made a point. We wanted something that let people know that we're serious.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A ride that has been deemed uncool is now filling driveways. The minivan is experiencing a major comeback. According to a report from Cox Automotive, minivans sold for 8% above the sticker price last month. By comparison, cars, trucks, and SUVs all sold at sticker price during that same period. Many buyers say the minivan's cargo and passenger space, high seats, and sliding doors make them attractive. Right now, there are only 4 automakers who offer minivans in the U.S. One of them, Chrysler, recently made updates to its Pacifica van by giving it a new front face and an improved interior. A couple gets stung by a huge renovation bill when they discover more than 500,000 bees in their walls. Jeremy Roth has more in today's Take a Look at This.
When a couple purchased this 1872 Pennsylvania farmhouse, they knew it needed work. What they didn't know is a colossal colony of bees hidden inside the home's walls would result in a complete gut job. The couple said they were aware there were bees in the home, but once expert Alan Latanzi started removing wall panels, he found nearly 500,000 bees, estimated to have been there some 35 years. 3 colonies were safely relocated to Latanzi's bee farm, but the couple now face a stinging price tag of $12,000 for the removal and resulting reconstruction. Meanwhile, over in Virginia, state officials are making pleas for more bees. A government program is offering free equipment to residents willing to put beehives near their homes. Officials say Virginia has been losing 30% of its bee population yearly due to disease and pests, which stings because bees are crucial pollinators for both crops and trees. The program, which ends soon, aims to front the cost for aspiring amateur beekeepers to help with this pollinator population problem. And while it's not bee-related, folks in San Francisco are buzzing about the long-awaited return of these big yellow fellas. The city's historic cable cars are back in limited service after being suspended in 2020 due to the pandemic. Current cars are limited, but officials say they should be back in full service soon. But in the meantime, to celebrate the comeback, residents and visitors can enjoy a San Francisco treat: a month of rides free of charge. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. A Connecticut couple signed up their daughter for piano lessons to keep her busy during the lockdown. A year later, their 4-year-old is being called a piano prodigy. This is Bridget. She can play Beethoven's Sonata in F major and is set to perform at Carnegie Hall in the fall. Her parents signed up for group piano lessons via Zoom at 3 years old. Her teacher decided to offer her private lessons after noticing she took instructions especially well. Now, more than a year later, Bridget is the youngest winner of the prestigious Elite International Music Competition. Congratulations to you, Bridget. Look forward to seeing where your career takes you. That's all for us this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.